Hey, welcome back. So what if I told you that every single night when you go to sleep, you're not just, recharging your brain, but you're actually traveling through alternate realities? Today, we're diving into an idea that might just change how you think about dreams forever. Right, so we've all heard the standard story, right? Dreams are just random bits of brain noise, the mind cleaning house after a long day. But for this explainer, we're gonna park that idea to the side and explore something way more profound. What if our dreams are actual doorways, portals into the quantum landscape of parallel worlds? Okay, let's get into it. The foundation for this whole radical idea doesn't come from some fringe theory. It actually comes from a place you might not expect, the truly bizarre and fascinating world of quantum physics. And that brings us to something called the Level 3 Multiverse. Now stick with me here. The theory goes that every choice you've ever made, and every choice you could have made, has created a new branching reality. So yeah, the you who took that other job or moved to that other city, they exist. And these worlds aren't light years away. They're right here, layered on top of ours, accessible not by a spaceship, but by a shift in consciousness. You know what's amazing is this isn't even a new idea. This ancient metaphor from the Upanishads paints such a perfect picture. It sees consciousness as this flowing river, and our waking and dreaming states are just the two different banks. It suggests our awareness isn't locked into one place, but it could actually swim between these different realities. And to build on that, we can look to Tibetan Buddhism, which makes this really crucial distinction. See, they say most of our dreams are probably just that, noise, the leftovers from our day. But then you have what they call dreams of clarity. These are lucid dreams, the ones where you suddenly realize, hey, I'm dreaming. And in those moments, you're no longer just watching a movie. You're an active participant in a whole other level of reality. So, okay, this all sounds pretty wild. But is there any actual hard science that suggests our minds can do these kinds of things? Well, let's take a look at the work of researcher Dean Radin, because it hints that our consciousness plays by a very different set of rules. The experiments we're about to look at really tried to answer a bombshell of a question. Can our minds, especially our subconscious, actually get a glimpse of events before they even happen? This is absolutely incredible. In Radin's experiments, people were hooked up to machines that measure their heart rate and skin conductivity. Then a computer would show them random images. Some were boring, like a chair, and others were really intense, either violent or erotic. And get this, the data showed their nervous systems had a stress reaction to the intense images 2 to 3 seconds before the computer had even randomly selected which image to show them. So what does that mean? The key takeaway is that somehow, on a level they weren't even aware of, their bodies knew what was coming. It suggests that our strict linear idea of time might be way more flexible than we think. And dream states, where our logical, conscious mind is turned down, could be the perfect environment for these kinds of abilities to come to the surface. Okay, so if our minds can tap into this quantum field of information, how do we go from being a passive passenger to an active explorer? Well, this is where practices like lucid dreaming and astral projection come into play. These aren't just weird curiosities. You can think of them as training for your consciousness. The moment you become lucid in a dream, everything changes. That awareness gives you control. You can literally bend the rules of physics, become the architect of your own reality. And brain scans show that when this happens, the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that handles decision-making, lights up. This means lucid dreaming isn't just a fantasy. It's a very real training ground where you can practice skills and explore different versions of yourself to bring back into your waking life. This chart here really lays out the whole progression. In an ordinary dream, our awareness is low, and we're just an observer along for the ride. In a lucid dream, our awareness is high, and we become a co-creator of the experience. And the next step after that is what some call astral projection, where your consciousness feels totally separate from your body, and you're a full-on explorer in other dimensions. This experience of astral projection is sometimes called altered embodiment. The whole idea is that you're not actually losing your body, but you're having this profound realization that your consciousness isn't glued to your physical form. It's yet another kind of training, one that teaches you just how flexible and vast your sense of self really is. Now, here's the part that is truly mind-blowing. All of these cutting-edge ideas from physics and consciousness studies, they're not new, not at all. In fact, they are powerful echoes of deep spiritual wisdom that's been around for thousands of years. Just look at Tibetan dream yoga. This is an ancient, incredibly sophisticated practice with a clear roadmap. Step 1, learn to become lucid in your dreams. Step 2, use that lucidity to realize that everything you experience, both in the dream and in waking life, is a projection of your own mind. The ultimate goal? To maintain that pure, clear awareness through every state, including deep sleep and even death. Dreaming isn't an escape, it becomes essential training for life itself. And you see a very similar vision in Vedic cosmology. In these traditions, the entire universe is understood to be a divine dream, an imagination happening in the mind of a single cosmic consciousness. Our little individual lives, they're just dreams happening inside that much bigger dream.
And check this out. Look at how perfectly these ancient concepts map onto some of the most advanced modern theories. The idea of an Akashic record, this universal library of all knowledge, sounds an awful lot like a quantum information field. The Buddhist concept of a storehouse consciousness is a mirror image of theories about a universal mind. And the universe as a conscious being exploring itself? That's a serious hypothesis being discussed in philosophy today.
So, if there's one core takeaway from all of this, it's this. Dreams are not an escape from reality. They're not the opposite of waking life. They are its completion. Every night, you're not leaving reality behind, you're actually entering more of it. Think about it like this. When we're awake, our perception of reality is pretty rigid, right? It's governed by what we think are fixed laws of physics and time. But in the dream state, our perception becomes completely fluid. We suddenly get access to this wide open field of pure possibility, where we can explore different paths and different versions of ourselves. And that really is the central message here. When you start to see it this way, the multiverse stops being some abstract, cold theory in a physics textbook. It becomes a personal, profound call to adventure, an invitation to explore the vast, uncharted landscapes of your own consciousness. So what if the greatest frontier left for us to explore isn't outer space, but inner space? We spend all this time looking for portals out there, in a lab or in a distant galaxy, but maybe, just maybe, the doorway to infinite realities has been right here, right behind our own eyelids all along.
Thank you for watching. If something in this resonated with you, then you're already closer than you think. If you're ready to go deeper, there's a link below to my book, Quantum Manifestation: How to Collapse Time and Shift Timelines. This isn't theory. It's a framework you can actually use. Tap the link below and step into it.